So I just want to do a little check-in, drop-in. I know it's about to be busy for a lot of us. And I was thinking about the fact that, it's courageous. It's courageous to go back. A lot of people are going back into old family dynamics or going back to a place where they have a complex relationship or complex memories. This time of year, a lot of people are in that courageous revisiting of places they maybe don't always love the dynamic of, or maybe your courageous action is like actually doing the thing for you that makes more sense, not going back or creating something new. And so I was just thinking of that, like the courage it takes to go back and revisit places. And I also think it's like really the way we get free. Like when we have the ability to stay with ourselves and stay with what we're really feeling and maybe create an opportunity for a new experience in an old place, we literally can do anything, if we create that ability to be with ourselves in all conditions and to stay with our feelings and to stay with our needs and to maybe even put ourselves in environments that we know sometimes take us out, but with new tools and new relationships to ourselves and to other people that we can connect with. It's like some of the most courageous work is that. And so, I was thinking about that and how many people are preparing for that. And I was also thinking about something that's really come up a lot in the last week for myself and a lot of people I'm talking to, which is like this desire to use less words, this desire to speak and explain and understand through words less and just have more time feeling and having more time with some space and having more time where we just can be with ourselves and with other people without needing to have so many words on top of it. And it's like something that I've seen come up in groups I was in, with clients, with myself, in conversations with people. And it's been something I've really thought about because so much of my life has been and is about words. I've worked virtually for a long time. And I think so many of us maybe have some fatigue from how long life has been virtual, where we've really needed our words in a whole different way. And then personally, am I? Say more about how I'm describing horse medicine. And I just realized this is you, Colleen, so it's great to see you. There's just, so many ways we just want to feel and be and co-regulate in that way. And also, obviously, I just wrote and published a book, and just there's so many ways I've been working with words. And I'm in a new place, and I'm connecting with so many people and having so many conversations. And I've just had this huge desire for energy inward, for more of a yin space connection. And so many people I've been seeing and talking to are saying the same thing. And it's interesting because I also feel like if you're getting ready to revisit an old place, like an old family dynamic, an old hometown, an old ritual, we oftentimes are using our old way. We can just suddenly find ourselves talking in an old way, regressing in an old way, telling an old story, in an old dynamic with family members or whatever it is. I just think a lot of times old words and old ways of speaking create old feelings and old reactions and old memories. And so sometimes, and I've also had a lot of people emailing me who have had a session with me recently or something with the book and are I haven't reached out yet because I haven't had the words. And I'm hearing that a lot too. People are not accessing words for certain experiences. And so what I really think is happening is that we're coming into this really new cycle with 2026, and we're all in shedding all of these old things. And we know that everything of form starts formless. and everything that eventually we have words to describe and translate and explain, at some point we're just a feeling, right? We have to have new words and to find our words and to have a new experience, a new translation of our past, a new way we describe ourselves and our desires and our wants, a new way of relating to people. Like, we're going to need new words. And sometimes we don't have the words yet because we are just touching the feeling. We are just getting in touch with the feeling. We are just getting in touch with the formless thing. And so I think a lot of us are in this end of year moment where the energy for the new year, the energy for the new way, in fact, this is what the Akasha gave me as a mantra just now, is I am ready for a new way. I am ready to see my life with fresh eyes. That was like the message, the kind of the mantra that was sort of here to share with anyone who's going to watch this. I am ready for a new way. I am ready to see my life with fresh eyes. And so sometimes we don't yet have the words, and we need some space so that we can get in touch with the feelings, so we can choose new words and create new experiences, new reactions, new conversations. And I just want to share what Colleen's sharing about horse medicine. Horses operate in the felt sense, the field behind language, sensory presence, totally. The field behind language. It's such a relief to the human system to be able to drop into a space that is only felt and not spoken. Yes, so true. So true. And oftentimes it can be really vulnerable to be right in a felt place. And so we can start talking on top of it or grabbing for like old ways of explaining things. So yeah, I just was really feeling that today, that there's something in the field where we are feeling and connecting without yet having the words for it, because we really do need a new way. And sometimes it's better to just wait for the words to come and let yourself feel before trying to explain it or talk on top of it, because when we reach for the old words and the old story, we're going to create the old experience. And many people are about to return to a place that has a lot of old words and old stories for them. So something I think is really powerful to do is what Colleen's sharing, right? Like, drop into a place where we can just feel, right? Really connecting with the field behind the language. And really dropping into what I call with the Akashic Records, the story beneath the story. And then also maybe doing something new, just so you actually have a new experience and new words to describe something. So if you're going to a place that's old and familiar and there's some old patterns that you're really ready to like not experience in that way, then part of that could be like, what's something you could do that would be totally new to the experience? Like, maybe you make a new recipe. Maybe you have a new type of conversation with someone at your family gathering. Like, maybe you make time to do something you don't normally make time for while you're there. It's like, flip the energy a little bit. Create a new experience so that when you think about it and you start to bring words to the experience you have in this family event, there's actually something new there. I know there's people in my life where it's like, okay, we have to create this tradition in a new way. So it's like, what's something new you could do that you haven't done before? Maybe take a train there instead of driving. I don't know, right? Like, just like different things where it's like, what's something new you could create in a place where you have a lot of old words and old stories. And then before we leave this live stream, I would love to just drop you in to the feelings behind words and behind story. And to just maybe also give you some affirmation if you've been feeling this way. Because so many people I've been talking to have been feeling this way, where it's just like less words, more feeling. And maybe even seeing how you could practice that where you're about to visit, with what you're about to do. Like, could you let yourself be understood more by your presence rather than your words? Could you let yourself feel connection with someone whose words maybe trigger you, and just like spend a little more time feeling them instead of talking. I don't know. These are just suggestions because new energies and new ways are trying to reach our system so that we have the formless, we have the feeling of it, and then we can begin to translate it into words and into action steps, and then we can begin to actually have that reflected as our new reality. And this year we're coming into is an opportunity for a new reality. So yeah, let's drop into the energy. And I do want to share, I'm going to be sharing more about it tomorrow too, but if you want to go into the story beneath the story, if you want to connect with the feeling before the word, that is a lot of what I'm going to be doing with the Dark Times Catering Reading Circle. So we're going to be working with the Akashic Records. We're going to be working with the feeling and the energy and the themes from the book, but actually going beneath the words of the book into the frequency. And actually allowing those frequencies to create new realities that we can speak to when we're ready. So, yeah, I'll put a link. It's linked everywhere. You can DM me about it as well, and I'll be sharing more about it. But let's just take a few breaths here before we complete. And just calling your energy back from anywhere else it might be. And just take a second to totally be with yourself. And just take a second to feel what you feel underneath the words I'm about to say. So that's why I have people breathe in words so often. It's because we're feeling the frequency that the words are representing. So just taking a moment to breathe in here. I am completely whole as I am. I am full, I am whole. There is nothing missing. There is nothing wrong. I am completely right and as I am meant to be, as I am right now. Letting yourself feel totally relaxed and grounded and whole, complete, full, resourced, all that you need. Just taking a few more breaths here. Staying full and relaxed. Beginning to breathe in the image of an egg. It's almost like you're like a full, perfect, complete egg. And just stay here for a few breaths. And let one situation that makes you feel not like this, that makes you feel like maybe you're missing something or you don't quite have it, or there is something incomplete, maybe a circumstance, a relationship, an interaction that maybe you're about to revisit through Thanksgiving. Invite that dynamic or that relationship, that person, that situation, that memory, invite it to come right in front of you. Hey, Bonnie. And if you're just joining us, we're in the energy of being totally whole, perfect, and complete. And we're bringing something right in front of us that makes us feel not like that, incomplete, like we're missing something. And we're just bringing now, staying in the energy of being whole, perfect, and complete. Bring this thing all the way in. Let it come into your heart. Because this is part of the alchemy. This is the Dark Times Catering alchemy. This is, I am ready for a new way. I'm ready to see my life with fresh eyes. We do that and we get liberated and free in every condition when we can revisit things or let something in and like not let it take us out. We stay in our energy, in our sovereignty. And so we're just, and we begin to allow this thing to come into our heart and have compassion for ourselves, for the circumstances, maybe for the relationship. And we bring it into our heart. Now you're going to bring it down. Down through your body. Down through your legs and your feet. Letting the energy of this thing that usually makes you feel not whole, perfect, and complete. A relationship, a circumstance, a memory that maybe you're about to revisit when you go to Thanksgiving. We've let it into our heart. We've brought compassion to the circumstance. And now we're bringing it down through our body, through our feet, into the ground. And we're just exhaling out. We're just letting all of that stuff release. We're just letting all the details and the drama and the whatever release, repurposed. And just feel that all going into the ground, and then feeling that, stay there, bring some awareness to your heart. What's a feeling you have now in your heart? What's a gem of some wisdom, something new about that situation, that relationship, that interaction that you are left with now that you allowed the whole thing to come in? It's not something you have to brace, avoid, disconnect from. You let it into your heart and you brought it down and you released all the details. And now it's like you might have words for what you're left with, or you might just have a feeling. You might be in the place where you have a feeling and later on you'll have words for it. But we're just going to stay with the heart for a couple of breaths. Making a commitment to stay with the new feeling, to trust there will soon be new words, to really acknowledge the courage it takes to revisit past relationship dynamics, old hometowns, old family stuff that can get us stuck in our old words and old ways and therefore old experiences, and really honor the courage it takes to revisit with fresh eyes, with a compassionate heart, with being willing to let it in and bring it down. And so just knowing anything you needed to clear, you've cleared. What you've needed to receive, you've received. Making sure you take the space before you complete, just feeling the way you're okay. You're whole, complete, and perfect. You're right where you need to be. Okay, and just taking some time to be with feelings, to be with space, to know you're ready for wherever you're headed. Whether it's a new tradition or an old tradition, you're ready for new feelings and new words about that. So yeah, feel free to leave a feeling here, a sensation or a word. I look forward to connecting again soon. And if this really lit something up for you, this is the work we're going to be doing with the Dark Times Catering Reading Circle. We're going to go to the energy and the story beneath the words in the story. Okay, have a beautiful day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.